Tonight on KGW News, the DNA proof that closes a file on an Oregon family's nearly 70-year-old mystery. Plus, it was supposed to be a charity to help Oregon wildfire victims.
We do our best to take a survivor full circle.
But now the man who started it is accused of using the funding at strip clubs and casinos. Then the end of an era, the official closing date for the Lloyd Center Mall, and later.
I have to maybe take this moment to enter into an honest discussion.
The local musician facing backlash over his new album created entirely with AI. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Christine Pitawanich. We start with outrage from Oregon's top attorney. He is suing a man accused of stealing more than $800,000 in donations meant to help survivors of natural disasters. Our Catherine Cook is looking into the case. Catherine, what does the state say he spent all that money on?
Well, Christine, there's a long list from gambling, strip clubs, and travel to paying child support. The state also says Marcus Brooks used more than $300,000 from a Red Cross grant to start his own business.
It's definitely a lot to take in.
We first met Mark Brooks 5 years ago. He'd just launched the Cascade Relief Team, a nonprofit aimed at helping victims of Oregon's devastating wildfires and later tornado victims in Kentucky.
And we do our best to take a survivor full circle. So from the moment they lost their home or their dwelling to getting back in their new home.
But in 2023, the Cascade Relief Team ran out of money, and Brooks abruptly fired staff, saying he couldn't meet payroll. That's according to the Oregon Attorney General's office, which is now suing Brooks, saying he drained the nonprofit's accounts for personal use. The AG's office says Brooks stole nearly $837,000 in charitable funds meant to help victims of natural disasters. Instead, they say he spent it on himself. That includes $270,000 on personal credit cards, loans, and bills, $67,000 on rent, child support, liquor, strip clubs, and jewelry, and $11,000 in cash withdrawals, more than half at casinos. In a statement, AG Dan Rayfield said Oregonians donated to this organization because they wanted to help their neighbors recover from wildfires and floods. We will be sure he is held accountable for every dollar he took. On the surface, it appears the Cascade Relief Team helped a lot of people and that some funds raised did go to relief efforts.
And we're going to try to hit those smaller areas on the outskirts that may not be getting as much press or as much help as they may need.
But public records obtained by KGW in 2024 show that even then, state officials were tracking issues with the nonprofit. The AG's complaint says Brooks didn't keep meaningful financial records and ran funds through 26 different accounts. They also say Brooks accepted loans on behalf of Cascade Relief Team, but never deposited them into the nonprofit's account, then repaid them using charitable funds.
Besides getting Brooks to repay all stolen or wasted donations, the lawsuit seeks to bar him from ever leading or handling money for a charitable organization. Christine.
We'll see where this lawsuit goes. Appreciate the update, Catherine. New at 11, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man accused of sexually assaulting a minor. Now investigators say there may be other victims. They say 37-year-old James Lowry, shown on your screen, lives across the street from Troutdale Elementary School, but the minor identified in this case did not attend the school. Anyone with information should email the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office or call the number there at the bottom of your screen. After nearly 70 years, a heartbreaking mystery in the Columbia River Gorge can finally be put to rest. The Oregon State Medical Examiner has officially identified the remains of 3 members of the Martin family. A private diver discovered their car and remains submerged in the Columbia River near Cascade Locks. The family of 5 vanished in 1958 during what was supposed to be a simple trip to gather Christmas greenery. Months later, the bodies of 2 of their daughters were found downstream, but the parents and their oldest child were never recovered. Fast forward to 2018, Archer Mayo, a private recovery diver, started searching the river for the family's car. In 2024, he found the car buried under 10 feet of sediment and debris. Last August, he found the remains of who investigators believed to be Kenneth, Barbara, and their daughter Barbie. Now, with DNA evidence, medical examiners confirmed their identities.
To die is one thing, but to die and then to be in a mystery is like a whole nother level of discomfort. And there's just another tragic aspect about that, the whole mysteriousness. So the fact that nobody can argue with this now. DNA proof, we found Barbie, Bibi, and Kenneth, the daughter who was missing, and the two parents. It really does feel good.
Talk about dedication. The sheriff's office says since there was no crime, they have closed the case for good. Okay, taking a step outside on this Friday Eve, looking from our Pioneer Courthouse Skycam on this chilly mid-April night. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino here now with a first look at your weather impact forecast. Matt, one day closer to the weekend.
Hey, Christine, that is for sure. And a warmer weekend, too, as a matter of fact. But right now, it's cool out there, 47 degrees. But interestingly enough, we're actually a little bit warmer than we were at this time last night. It's 47 in Portland, 44 Scappoose, 42 in Hillsborough, and 40 in McMinnville. So it is getting cold in some spots. Newport at 37. But look, we're running 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 degrees warmer compared to the same time last night, which is interesting because it should be a little bit colder tonight. We cleared off very quickly last night, though, as that cold air came in, and that is likely why colder temperatures down in southeast Oregon, as you can see. There is a frost advisory up surrounding the Portland area. Portland, Vancouver, parts of Clackamas County carved out because of the urban heat island effect. We just won't get as cold as the country will, so that's why we don't have the advisory. But it will be a frosty night in much of the Willamette Valley. We got warmer days ahead, though, as we begin a fairly long dry spell. We'll let you know what will interrupt that and how warm we'll get this weekend a little bit later on, Christine.
Looking forward to those warmer days. Thank you, Matt.
Sure.
Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. The Lloyd Center is officially set to close August 8th. That's according to an announcement from the mall's owners. Tenants will have until the end of August to leave. The exceptions are Jumbo's Pickleball, Tracker's Earth, and the Regal Cinema, which will stay open. There are currently people appealing approved plans to redesign the mall into a mixed-use neighborhood of housing and also businesses. And prosecutors say more than 100 victims have now come forward accusing this Washington County man of sex abuse and harassment. 23-year-old Cedric Valdez was arrested in January at the Hillsborough Esplanade. He's accused of approaching women and teens in large retail stores or parking lots, claiming to be a reflexology student and saying he needed help with a school project. According to court documents, he would ask them to go to their cars where he would massage and, in some cases, kiss their feet. Prosecutors say he admitted to being sexually attracted to feet and said he'd been doing this sort of thing for 5 years. The victims range in age from 14 to 47. A judge yesterday allowed Valdez to stay out of jail until trial, but required that he be tracked with a GPS monitor. And there's a new measles exposure to tell you about in the Portland metro area. People at Mount Hood Community College in Gresham may have been exposed. Officials say a person with the virus was in the Gresham Campus Academic Center, Building 17, on the main level on Monday between 10 a.m. and 1:50 p.m. You can see all that information on your screen. Anyone who was there at the time should contact their doctor, especially if they are not vaccinated. New tonight, Republican frontrunners took to the debate stage in Washington County, telling the Oregon GOP why they should be the state's next governor. Alma McCarty was there. Alma, which candidates showed up?
Yeah, Oregon's Republican Party, they hosted the 4 leading candidates, Christine. State Senator Christine Drazen, State Representative Ed Deal, Marion County Commissioner Danielle Bethel, and former Portland Trailblazer Chris Dudley. Let's start with a snippet of their opening statements addressing their vision for Oregon.
The future of our state can once again be extraordinary within the state of Oregon. But to get that done, we are going to have to ensure that Tina Kotek is a one-term governor. And I'm telling you tonight that I am the one that can get that done.
And I'm here to say that we have to do better. And I believe that we need an outsider to come in, that the politicians in Salem are not getting the job done. They've had their chance to turn our state around, and they haven't done it. It's our time to turn it around.
My vision for Oregon is affordable, accessible, transparent, and safe. It means that anybody in any community, regardless of urban, rural, or frontier, is seen and heard and delivered from its systems of government from the bottom up, not the top down.
My vision for Oregon is pretty simple. We have the most beautiful state in the country. We do. But I want an Oregon that is the greatest place to live, to work, to raise a family and retire in a place where your kids and grandkids don't have to leave to find a better job.
The candidates also spoke on the topics of education, housing, the environment and forestry, as well as community safety. Here's what they said when it comes to homelessness.
My solution is to return cities the ability to enforce their own camping prohibitions on public land. They go get treatment, they leave and move along, or do they go to jail? That is the compassionate thing to do.
For far too long, our leaders have been feeding the machine. And the homeless nonprofit industrial complex has continued to expand and grow homelessness across our state. We need to demand accountability for the people that are receiving those dollars.
Well, the housing first model has not worked. First step is prevention. We have to get the drugs, and I call poison, the things that you do once, twice, 3 times, and either kill you or do such damage that it takes years to recover. We have to get that off our streets.
There is no system in this state right now to help a family stabilize with their vulnerable family members. Not only do I have lived experience about this, but as a county commissioner, I work on this every single day. I have designed programs that are scalable statewide.
Now, KGW and the Oregonian had hoped to host a debate with the candidates, but Senator Christine Drazen declined to participate, leading Chris Dudley to back out as well. Keep an eye out for primary ballots to be mailed out on April 29th. May 19th is the deadline to return them. Christine?
The race already heating up. Thank you, Alma. It is no secret this country is more divided than it has been in recent memory. Enter Dr. Cornel West and Dr. Robert George. One is a philosopher and 2024 presidential candidate, while the other is a leading conservative legal scholar. They gave a master class at George Fox University tonight on how to disagree fiercely while still maintaining a close friendship. Both warned the growing polarization is an existential threat, but stressed there is a way forward.
We're sliding down a slippery slope to chaos, though. Anytime greed and hatred and envy and resentment are out of control, you're losing the best of your country, your nation, your democracy.
No tradition, no ideology has a monopoly on the truth. We all have something important to learn from each other.
They say the way out of this gridlock is learning to treat people we disagree with as friends, not as opponents.